and history in the same way, because I'm lucky enough to fit in with good historic periods.
Is the 20th century the bloodiest century of world history?
In absolute figures, undoubtedly. It's been estimated that about 187 million people were killed by human, deliberate human effort during that century. I'm inclined to think that even in relative terms, it rates very, very highly. It's not easy to see, because you see, there are some small societies, you know, small primitive societies, which actually kill on a very large scale. I mean, I'm told that there are some, say, in Papua New Guinea, you see, but because society only consists of maybe about 800 people, the fact that a very large percentage of the youth are constantly being killed doesn't look very much. Nevertheless, I think even by the standards of our giant world, the 20th century is pretty terrible. If you look about it, 187 million or thereabouts amounts to about 10% of the population of the globe in 1900. That is one hell of a lot. We overlook this because of the extraordinary thing, because human beings not only kill each other, but also engender each other. You remember Napoleon's famous phrase, and cynical phrase, when they said, "But you have lost an army in Moscow," or something. He said, "A night in Paris will put it right." Well, that doesn't make it any less awful, but it does explain why, in spite of this extraordinary holocaust of people, there are far more people living today than there were at the beginning of the 20th century.
War is a constant in man's life.
Probably yes, but that does not mean that the kind of mass and total war which we experienced in the 20th century is a constant. On the contrary, that is an extraordinary rare occurrence. I don't think it was possible before the 20th century for technical and other reasons. I think it probably won't happen in the 21st, but that doesn't mean that the 21st will be a peaceful century. Unless there is another global nuclear war, which is not impossible between, say, the United States and China. But if there isn't, there will still be an extraordinary, brutal suffering. You see, one of the things that is new about the present situation, probably about the end of the old century and the beginning of the new, is this. The suffering caused to ordinary people, men, women and children, particularly women and children, is quite disproportionate to the amount of deliberate killing that goes on. If you look at some of the big of the wars in the third world, in Africa, in Asia and so on, if you look at it, you'll find that by really big standards, there are not very many people, like in Africa at the moment, by traditional